Hello and welcome to this recap of our study of Adam Hamilton's book, The Words of Life. We're on chapter 5 this week, and glad you've joined with me. We typically do these studies over Zoom on Tuesdays at 2 o'clock. If you're interested in participating, know that you are welcome and you can get in touch with me and I can make sure that you're getting that Zoom link. But this week, as we looked at chapter 5, what we were looking at is the fifth commandment. Honor your parents. Honor your father. Honor your mother. It's one of those commandments that probably as children, we heard it as obey your parents. Do what it is that they ask of you. And there is maybe an element of that in this command, but what we're going to see is that there's maybe even a primary meaning above and beyond that. I think that as we talked through the command itself, as we talked through the chapter, we found this to be a very meaningful kind of conversation to have about what our parents have meant to us, what other people who have acted as parents have meant to us, the ways that we can show them honor. So I will say that as Hamilton starts kind of discussing this commandment, one of the things that he kind of brings up near the very beginning is, what about parents who are abusive, that exploit their children, that harm their children? Are we saying honor them as well? Are we saying that those children should obey them? And without a doubt, the answer to that is no. That those parents are not acting in a loving way and that they are exceptions to this commandment. This commandment should never in any way be used to justify, perpetuate, to further anyone's abuse. And that for some folks, as they hear this command, that is their experience in life. And so we certainly want to be mindful of the ways that this command may have been used in a harmful way in their life before, but that is outside of what is meant by this passage of Scripture. There is something that Hamilton says. This is on page 98 that says, the command to honor our parents is not a requirement to continue to be abused by someone who acts in ways that are inconsistent with a legitimate and loving parent. Wholeheartedly, that is true. There are videos that go along with this study, and in part of this video for today's chapter, Hamilton talks with a rabbi by the name of Rabbi Nemitov. And the rabbi kind of covers a similar way of thinking about parents whose abusiveness makes this a very difficult command to wrestle with for some folks. He says that along with Hamilton, it does not mean to perpetuate those kinds of abuse. But that the one thing that he would add is that he does try to at least get those in his congregation to honor the fact that these folks gave them life. If you can think of nothing else to be thankful for them, that you can honor the fact that they gave you life, that can be something to hold on to. But for those whose parents don't fall under that kind of illegitimate use of this command. What does honoring them mean? Hamilton describes that the Hebrew word underneath honor is one that kind of shows weightiness, weight, that we want to treat our parents as though they are something substantial, that they are not light and airy things that we can disregard. We don't treat them lightly, as we would even say in English. And so some of the ways that we do that are by showing our parents love. And our parents may mean our biological parents. It may mean our adoptive parents. It may mean those people in our lives who have just kind of taken us under their wing and have treated us as their own. And in speaking words of love and acting out words of love and acting out love with our parents, one of the suggestions that Hamilton makes is to kind of use what we often think of in kind of marriage counseling situations about speaking someone's love language. Often in kind of premarital counseling sessions, I and other pastors may talk with people about kind of the 5 ways that you can express love to your spouse, by using words of affirmation, by using acts of service, by giving gifts, by someone receiving gifts, by spending quality time with someone, or by expressions of physical touch, whether that's the holding of a hand or a hug or sitting near someone. And all of those are ways that most people recognize that love is being offered to them. But what's also true is that it seems that everyone has one primary language that means the most to them, that kind of fills up the bucket of their need for love in a way that the others don't. And that while we often talk about that with spouses, what may also be beneficial is to find out, what love language do our parents speak? Or what love language do those elder adults in our life that are meaningful to us, what do they speak? If we ourselves are of an advanced age, what love language do our children speak? Kind of finding out what it is that is most meaningful to them may help us to express love in the ways that we hope we are expressing. If someone wants words of affirmation, then saying something means a lot more to them than giving them a gift. But those same words might not be as meaningful to someone who would prefer to get just a small card with a bookmark attached to it. We all have different ways that we want to hear that we are loved from others. But the primary meaning of this commandment, kind of in its original form, and what probably makes it all the more important for us in today's world, is to know that the primary meaning of honor your father and your mother, honor your parents, is to care for those who are aging, to make sure that our parents, as they age, can do so with grace, with dignity, that they can do so knowing that they are being cared for, that they've not been left alone. There's another quote that I'll share with you, where Hamilton says, of course, honoring our aging parents isn't just about helping them financially, although he talks about that may be an aspect of it for some of us. But for many reading this book, your aging parents will never need your financial help, but they will need your touch, they'll need your friendship, they'll need your counsel. They'll need you to help them feel valued, respected, worthy, In other words, to help them feel honored. In Romans 13:8, Paul writes, "Don't be in debt to anyone except for the obligation to love each other." That is the weight of this command. Make sure that our parents feel honored, that they are able to age in grace and dignity. Hamilton also comes at it from the other side. What if you are the one who is aged? Now, what if you are the elder in your family? He suggests making sure that you are doing everything that you can to make it easy for your children and your grandchildren to honor you. Have you been able to do the planning that you can to make sure that your advanced years are ones that are happy and fulfilling? He also touches on the fact that there are many elder adults around us who no longer have family. That of the older adult population, there are 22% of older adults who are what can be referred to as elder orphans, whose spouse has passed away and who either don't have children or grandchildren, or whose children and grandchildren live in a city that is far away. And so even as those elder orphans may not be blood related to any of us, to those in our church, this command also touches on making sure that you are providing care and love and support to them, that they know that they are not alone. I mean, one of the two groups of people that are often spoken of in the prophets are widows among orphans. But we would say widows and widowers. Make sure that they have the care and the love and the support that can be offered to them from this congregation and from us personally, those that we know in life. Also then kind of looking to the New Testament about what it is that Jesus may have said or done that connects with this commandment. And there are kind of two examples of Jesus kind of showing extreme love, particularly to his mother. Two examples that are brought up that we talked about this past week. The first of which being in his first miracle itself, as John's gospel records it for us. That Jesus and his mother, as well as others, are at this wedding feast, and the wine has given out. And Mary comes to Jesus to see if he will do something about it. And at first, he's a little bit resistive. It's not his time, he says. And yet we know he ends up performing the first miracle that we know of, turning water into wine. Wine that they say ends up being even better than that, which had been used at the start of the feast. That Jesus honored his mother by doing what it is that she requested. Not that as adults we always do what it is our parents say. Our parents can't always tell us who our spouse should be, what we should do with our lives. They may have opinions on that. They may have wise counsel on that. But it may be that we as adults don't always say yes to our parents' requests. But that this is an example that shows sometimes you do want to go along with what your mother or your father says, just to show them that you love them. The other example from Jesus's life is as he is on the cross and he looks down and he sees his mother there with him and sees the beloved disciple there too. And he says, "Mother, behold your son, and son, behold your mother." And from that point, the beloved disciple took Mary into his own care. Jesus, even in his own final moments, cared so much about his mother that he wanted to make sure that she would be taken care of too. A reminder of just how weighty and how serious this command can be for us. So as we've done for these last few weeks, I would like to kind of end by sharing what it is Jesus may be saying to us about this commandment. The final chapter of the final paragraph of this chapter says, what Jesus may say to you, that you are my hands, my feet, my voice. In this commandment, my Father is calling you to care not only for your parents and grandparents, your aunts and your uncles, but also for older adults who have no one else. He's calling you to visit, to call, to encourage and bless them. You are the means by which I care for the elderly. Honor them. Consider them weighty. Treat them with respect. And you'll find the blessings that you've extended will come back to you. Amen. Well, may God bless you this week, and I will see you again at the recap next week. God be with you. Bye-bye.